Hey guys, this is Laura with Esports, and today I'm joined by G2 Esports' latest addition to their roster. Yuli, how do you feel about replacing Reckless in the AD carry position?
Yeah, nervous. I have big shoes to fill, obviously, but I'll be doing my best, especially, on the handsomeness scale. I can't quite reach as far as he does, but yeah, I'll try my hardest.
Good point. Okay, jokes aside, you just joined G2 Esports as a content creator, and I'm really curious about what that entails. So, what is it exactly that you're going to be doing for the team?
Yeah, so a lot of people actually had that question, what content creator actually means. It's a little bit of a broad term. So first of all, of course, I'll be streaming for G2, just like I've been streaming before. But also, it was really, really important to me when I decided to sign with G2 that I can do other content with them, especially because I'm based in Berlin, just as the G2 office is. That was one of my main reasoning to join them. So I can basically record videos with them, do photo shoots with them, create new fun formats, new sketches, stuff like that.
That sounds awesome. Are you excited to join the team?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And which teammate do you think you're going to be creating content with the most?
Oh God, honestly, I don't know, and I also don't care. I really love all the guys. Obviously, I'm more familiar with the League of Legends team, right? Because I've been working with them before, and I really, really respect all of them, and I think they're all really fun and really great. But I also hope I'll get the chance to work with other professional esports players from other teams of G2,
Sounds good. And
other games.
as I think everyone knows that the G2 players, at least in the League of Legends, team, they're very critical of grabs drafts. So
Oh
I'm
God.
wondering if you are going to try your hand at coaching as well.
Oh, oh. Honestly, I don't think that would be a good idea. I'd probably just make them play the champions that I enjoy
Yeah.
seeing, which might be a little bit off meta for the competitive play environment. Also, I'm sure the guys really, really love grabs. It just kind of established itself as a
Yeah,
meme,
it's a
and now
meme.
it's just suddenly, yeah. By
It's blown out
I
of
don't think I
proportion.
can withstand the criticism that he's getting. So no,
Oh, that's
I'm keeping my hands off of that.
That's super fair. And for you to join G2, from what I understood, is that you are no longer going to be a referee for the LEC. Is that so?
Yeah, that's correct. The main reason for that is that if you're a referee, you can basically not affiliate with any team because you have to stay impartial, right? You have to be an impartial party. And as soon as you're biased towards a certain team, other teams might feel,
Mm-hmm.
treated worse. Also, the fans will be like, oh, the referee's favoring this team. So obviously, I had to make this decision to step away from being a ref to be able to join G2.
And how was it for you to make that decision? You've been a referee for quite some time
Yeah.
now, so I'm really curious about like what that was like for you.
Yeah, I've been a ref for 5, 6 years now with a short career break. Honestly, the decision was really hard because I really loved being a ref. But at the same time, COVID made it a little bit easier because refing online just isn't the same. What I loved about being a referee was being able to go up on stage, be, inside the action, be able to walk up
Totally.
to the mid laner and watch him 1v1 kill somebody. That was the exciting part for me. And also, especially the roadshows, and in particular, Worlds that I got to ref just once. But that was so amazing because you have like the crowd, the cheers. It's just a very special atmosphere. And I'm still really sad to leave this behind me, but at the same time, I just feel like I should move forward, do something new, something exciting, and to kind of try my skills at something that I haven't done before.
That makes perfect sense. What did your day to day entail back when you were a referee? What was it like to be in your shoes?
Yeah, so basically, I started being a referee when I think I started university back in the time. So, as you know, the show days are Friday and Saturday. I think back then it was Saturday and Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe,
Right?
if I remember correctly, at least. And then they switched it. So I would just go to university during the week, do my stuff, and then 2 days off the week, I would go to the studio. And yeah, it was, it's a part time job that I was doing. It's not a full time job. I think a lot of people mistake that.
Mm.
That's also one of the reasons that I wanted to move forward because obviously I don't want to work my entire life as a part time person. So, yeah, 2 days of the week after university. Do you want to run me through you? Do you want me to run you through like a day of the ref?
Yeah, that would be amazing if you could just tell us what it's actually like to the time that you
Okay.
get into the studio and then the time that you get out. That would be amazing.
All right. So basically, when you arrive like 1 hour, 1.5 hours early. Meet up with the other refs, and then we usually had kind of a discussion over lunch about like the current patches, current state of bugs, stuff like that. Things to keep an eye out for. For example, if player feeling particularly sick that day.
Mm.
So just kind of we usually call that a sync during just lunch. And then we would go backstage and kind of set up and prepare the peripherals for the players because the referees are the ones that store the peripherals.
I didn't
One
know
of the
that.
reasons is safety, so the players can like mess with certain equipment. We also scan every single peripheral for some type of code basically on their software that is not supposed to be on there. But we never found anything ever, which is good.
You know, which brings to mind, if I'm not mistaken, it was Yankos that would always forget his mouse pad, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot
So
of
now that
players
you're in
forget.
G2, that'll never happen again.
Never. No. Of course, I'm also responsible for the hardware now. I'll do everything for them.
Totally.
No, but yeah, a bunch of players forget stuff. But that's also like
Mhm.
one thing that you kind of do as a ref. You kind of are responsible for the players on stage, and at that moment, you kind of start almost babysitting them a little bit. Even though we always try to be like strict about it, but at the same time, you really like them, right? And kind of adore them. You're like, okay, I'll bring you your mouse pad. But then sometimes some players would like try to push it a little bit too far and kind of treat you a little bit almost as a like, okay, servant is a harsh word. Not as a servant, but be like, hey,
But like they're
referee,
managers.
can
Yeah.
you bring me some water? And then you just go like, hey, I know you want water, but you have a manager.
Yeah.
Then your manager can grab it. But yeah, it's kind of like case by case basis type of thing. But yeah, once you prepare the peripherals, you kind of just already start going up on stage
Hmm.
and kind of preparing the first team that plays. Usually, a team has about like 15 to 20 minutes from the moment they go on stage until the game begins. I think the time currently is 16 on stage, which is not happening right now. I think online it's longer because
Right.
there's more room for internet issues and whatnot.
Mhm.
And of course, we're also not there with them and can like rush them. It's a little bit harder to do over voice. But yeah, and then once everything is set, you just kind of observe the game, move around, kind of let the guys backstage know if you notice anything, like a bug or something that is not being like paused for, but you already like preemptively uh, tell backstage so they're prepared in case of a pause. And yeah, usually as a referee, you do 3 or 2 games, kind of depending on the rotation in a day. And then you wrap it up and then you sync again and then you go back to the next day. Yeah.
Sounds good. You mentioned just now that this was your part-time job and you started with
Mhm.
university. What did you study, Yuli?
Oh, I I have a major in Korea studies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What? Tell me a little bit more about that. I'm really curious.
Oh God.
Oh God.
So first I actually started studying computer science
Mhm.
because I wanted to become a programmer and program computer games and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I really noticed that this entire math torture was really not for me. Like I really hated it, especially it was really noticeable that the profs were trying to like filter out the people that are not into math.
Right.
And they managed with me because I hate math. So I stopped with computer science. And then I just kind of, remembered how much I love languages. and also, East Asia. And in particular, I wanted to learn about something that I didn't know at all yet. And I was really not familiar with South Korea, Korean whatsoever. And a lot of people in my studies actually that I met, they already knew a lot about it, were there or were like Korean themselves. So I was like a really big noob back then, but it was really exciting. And I also got to live in South Korea for 1.5 years. I went to
No
university
way.
there.
Okay.
So that was really, really cool. And I learned the language, which is also really exciting.
Hmm.
And it comes in really handy, especially during Worlds. It was so handy
Totally.
because I could, referee Damwon, for example, and speak with them in Korean. So that was a really, really exciting moment and a really, precious memory of mine almost. Um, yeah, learned the language, learned about the country, and now the country is like turbo popping with the K-pop and whatnot. Yeah,
It's true. So if G2 ever goes boot camp in
oh, I
Korea,
hope they take me.
yeah, I
That'd
hope
be
they take it
cool.
too. I want all that content in Korean, Yuli.
Yeah, I just feel like, guys, I can translate for you. No, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really glad to hear that you're doing well with G2 and that you're excited about the future. I'm
Hmm.
also really excited about, what you're going to be creating. Can you give us maybe a little, sneak peek of what,
Sneak peek.
yeah, of what's
Okay, what
coming?
type of content we're planning on doing with G2?
Hmm.
So, obviously, there's nothing decided really yet, but we had a couple calls with the guys from G2, kind of, the content team, and we sort of brainstormed what type of content we could be doing together, and that I could, be a part of. And they said they had a lot of ideas, which, I don't know if I can say, but
Don't worry.
like, let's just say for those are just like brainstorms, basically, right?
Hmm.
Nothing's decided on yet.
Right.
But one of the ideas was doing some type of ASMR stuff, maybe with the players also, which could be really
Can't
funny.
wait.
Yeah. So that could be really fun. We also, think it would be nice to get to know the players a little bit better
Hmm.
behind, the screen, basically, behind them playing, behind their esports persona, but more so as people, right?
Right.
So that's kind of something we're considering doing, like a series or something. But yeah, like I said, there's nothing really decided yet, so you'll have to wait and see.
I will wait and see, and I'm already really excited. Thank you so much, Yuli, for your time. And
Mhm.
guys, don't
Thank you
forget
too.
to like this video and subscribe to keep in touch with everything that's going on in esports.
Yeah.